I'm assuming everyone's physically prepared, if not emotionally prepared.
As I'll ever be.
Yes.
So everybody roll d20 in the tower. You're on a boat.
We're on a boat.
Feel free to arrange yourselves on the boat. I didn't really have a clue. I figured Jozdess would be near the sail, and we kind of left it with Stiiv manning the rudder.
Yeah. Which side would be the rudder? Is that gonna be the north side?
It's going to be the south side.
Okay.
It's where you are based on.
It's the boat's butt.
Yeah, because the sail wouldn't be billowing that direction if it was.
Yeah, it's arbitrary sail billowing.
There we go. Go at the
So
front. And
we do not have the technology to change the direction of the wind visually, graphically. So it will all be pretend if that happens. So last week, you escaped from the boat, basically. That's what you did. You retrieved most of your gear, pretty much everything except for your gold, your sparkly dust, and the food rations you were originally carrying on you. But everything else you got back, and you might have picked up a few other things along the way, such as a pipe and a pouch of tobacco and a fluffy pillow.
And the chest, but we haven't opened that yet.
And a chest. The chest is still locked, but I think it's parked nicely in the boat near the rogue. Or is it?
Well.
So the boat sank, embraced in the loving arms of a geriatric octopus. You think a few people got away. There were a couple other boats. Some of them seemed to be fighting, taking on new passengers, but they headed off in a different direction than you. And you think the captain may have gotten out alive, though very injured from your attentions. The first mate was a minotaur. The last you saw him, he went under the surface of the water, and you did not see him resurface. So, now you're a ways out of Saltmarsh. You know Saltmarsh is to the southwest, and you're traveling in your little boat on open water. As you chug along, you hear the mephits powering this elemental jolly boat kind of go bleh, bleh, in a constant rhythmic puffing, groaning sound. The boat is also equipped with oars and a sail that you can use to try to amend the speed.
Did I cut out or?
Yes.
Okay.
I've not heard you talking till you asked, did I cut out? So yeah, you're in a boat. What do you do?
Steer that baby towards Saltmarsh.
I'm also assuming that you guys are putting your gear back on.
Well, I don't think I've really got anything, have I? I grabbed
you
my backpack,
haven't.
so no.
I'm quite happy to put my stuff back on.
And since it hasn't really been appropriate up till now, since you guys were kind of in your pants and your skivvies and your maybe a loincloth here and there when you were captive in the brig, maybe we should take a time for everybody to describe the appearance of their character from left to right, starting with Kymir.
Okay. So, I'm reading directly from my notes now. I've got a very dark red skin. My eyes are like they're pure gold. There's no like a dark gold. There's no pupil or anything like that. I've got horns that are even darker than my skin, a really deep red, sort of like ram-like. They curl back from my forehead. Do I assume that I've just got my normal clothes then back?
Yeah, you pretty much had your normal clothes, I guess, to begin with. It's
Right.
really anything that could be considered armor or a weapon would have been taken away. But for someone like you, who is a monk, you are your own armor and weapon. So there wasn't as much for them to take away from you.
Yeah. So I've just got like loose cloth clothing on. Fairly standard.
Given Kymir's recent experiences, not only kind of getting drunk at Clawpong as well as waking up captive on a boat, now that you're on this ship and you've escaped the sinking ship, what's your general demeanor?
Not impressed with myself by falling, basically getting myself into a state where I could be taken captive. I'm sort of mentally reprimanding myself for letting my guard down and realizing that that shouldn't have happened. Or do you mean, do I look like I've got a really bad hangover? Which is also true.
You could do a constitution check.
Crap.
No.
Oh no, that's wrong one. Wrong one, sorry.
Nope, you're still good. Not a
Okay.
hangover in sight. Can't feel a thing.
All that fighting must have
Yeah, once you
driven it out.
woke up and gathered your thoughts in the lower hold of that ship, you were fine.
Okay. So yeah, just disappointed in myself for letting myself get captured.
Okay. Shaefira. To the people who are new in the party, who you've just met the night before, what do you look like when they look at you? What's your general appearance, and how are you feeling after the recent events escaping the ship?
Right, I'm quite a short halfling with really badly coloured hair that I'm still trying to grow out.
Is it a bit orange?
I'm a little bit orange, yes. I'm got pale skin, ruby red lips, and I'm dressed in leathers with my dagger on one side of my belt and my rapier on the other. I look kind of tired, but I don't think I got drunk on the claw wine, whatever it was. So I'm not feeling any ill effects from that. But I feel quite energized from our escape from the ship. And I've got a little twinkle in my eye looking at the chest, waiting to see if I can open it.
How about Jozdess?
I posted a picture. The lizard folk, dark to light grey skin, depending on whether it's top side or bottom side. Green eyes, and the only change that's happened now he's got his equipment back is he's carrying a lot more weapons. I think I've got Not a small number of weapons ensconced on my person, but no. Other than that, basically, when not doing anything, tends to sit quite still. If resting, will curl himself into a little coil and not move. Has a discerning habit of not blinking a lot. But yeah, that's about it.
Now, was I wrong, but when Jozdess discovered there was a chest on board this ship before it sank, he seemed downright excited to get his claws on that.
He was definitely gunning for it.
Does Jozdess
Well,
have a greedy
I
streak?
saw no problem in stealing stuff back from these people, seeing I've lost stuff.
Okay.
But I'm not. I can't open it. I just wanted to get it.
But is he greedy in nature, or is it just a matter of, hey, they took stuff from me, let me get more of my own back?
No, not greedy. In general terms, material. He doesn't really care about money, apart from the fact that Softs let me buy eggs with it. But apart from that,
Okay.
So you're egg motivated.
I'm very much egg motivated.
Okay.
And I've got a special point in my inventory. See, it says gold pieces, silver pieces, eggs.
Eggs.
Kereithlana, how are you today?
I'm amazed that I've experienced this weird unconsciousness thing that happens to other races. It's quite trippy, really, isn't it? And you guys do that every night? That's amazing. That's really, really cool. But I'm not in any rush to experience it again. I think I'll quite happily just have a quick think about things rather than actually doing that sleep. Does that often end up with you lot on boats as well? Not realizing where you were? Is that a normal thing or not?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay. So the land races aren't quite as strange as I thought in the last sort of half hour or so. Right. Okay. Yeah. You lot all look kind of odd to me, really. Because you're various shades of red and pink and things, and that's an unusual coloration for a sea elf, to say the least. So I'm a quite natural blue, with a lovely green shade of hair.
We are a very comfortable, colourful party, aren't we?
We are. We represent, I think, which is a good thing. What else? Yeah, I made sure I picked up the ledger as well, guys, so we can see who's behind, because it wasn't very friendly, was it? So
Smart thinking.
Yeah, I think we might be going to look into this in a little more detail, pay some visit. So if they've done this to us, then they've done it to other people as well. There'll be a lot of people who are missing their loved ones. No idea where they are. So yeah, we can tie up some. Yeah.
I just realised, are you just a very tall Oompa Loompa?
I'm not a very tall Oompa Loompa, no.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
Oompa
Just
Loompas were
checking.
orange.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Orange,
she's
orange
more like a
with
tall
green hair,
Smurf.
isn't it?
Okay, tall Smurf. I'll go for that instead.
Yay! You'll make me feel really happy about that. Cheers. Yeah, I'm 5'4" as well in your land-based measurement. But yeah, that's me.
Stiiv!
Stiiv. Hi, Stiiv. Stiiv has a lean build, wearing pretty common clothes, which have clearly seen better days. They're now borderline shabby. His head is bald, and where his hairline should be is now a crown of small, like inch to an inch and a half spikes. And across his face appears a maze of unnaturally red scar tissue, which glows slightly when he uses one of his dragon mark abilities or his warlock spells. Other than that, he's pretty much, a generic human, boring height, well, no hair. Eyes are kind of a brownish red, but you're pretty sure that's not natural.
That's so Stiiv.
It's Stiiv.
Steve's reminded me. Jozdess does have tattoos down one of his arms and across the shoulder and down one arm, but that's about the only ornamentation that it's got. I've forgotten about the tattoos. It's only important because they're going to make sense when I get to 3rd level.
Okay, but for now they just look like gibberish.
No, they're just tribal line tattoos. They're kind of blue in color, but that's about all it is.
Okay.
You have plans.
Yeah.
And how is Steve feeling after the last night's events, with waking up on the ship, Jane, and all that
That's
business?
basically like a Thursday.
Do things just
There's-
happen to Steve?
He's just a weirdness magnet. Bad things are always around him, so that's kind of that's pretty normal, really.
So, the mephits kind of run themselves on the boat. You just kind of point the rudder to aim in a direction, and they chug along.
Do they have endurance problems? Because
So far, they're fine.
why would there be a sail if they can run constantly?
So far, you have not encountered any problems, but you've only been chugging along about an hour.
So if we get the sail in use as quickly as we can, we know that they'll last a bit longer.
Yeah,
Even though they're fine.
I'm assuming that they have to be fed or magically fed. Anyway, rig the sail and we'll use that for the moment.
I picked up the navigation.
Yeah, we've got it in the part.
In the pie thing.
Yeah.
Who's going to man the sail?
I'll sorry, stuttering today. I'll do the sail while Steve does the ruddering thing.
Okay. Do a survival check with advantage. We'll see just how much wind you pick up.
And you want survival. That requires me to go to skills.
So no problems. You've caught the wind just so, using your experience at sea handling sailcraft, and you've maximized the effect of the sails. So you're
Right.
chugging along a good 2 miles an hour faster than you would using just the mephits alone. There's also some oars tucked away in the boat. The handles are a little bit extra long because as the mephits power the boat, you're floating about 2 feet above the ocean surface.
Can I get Steve to actually see if he can actually turn the mephits off and we just run on just on the sail? Because I don't know what happens if the mephits run out of juice.
Yeah, but if we row as well as have the mephits and the sail, we could go super fast and get there quick. Maybe.
We could, but we
I'd find it doubtful that you'd be able to row faster than the wind will take us.
But
the oars, I would
speed,
assume, are
are
for
we?
when there's no wind to stop the calming.
the other thing is we've no idea if the boat's actually.
Well, yeah, but then we can put it in the water and test it. It's better than finding out in
Halfway through,
2
yes.
hours at a time when there's no mephit power. The boat's not watertight.
But we've no idea how far out we are from Saltmarsh or the coast, do we?
No. So you've got to make the assumption that the mephits are going to fall off. We're going to land in the water, and we're going to have to treat this as a normal boat. It's rigged to run as a normal boat. So I have to assume that the mephits are just used when there isn't wind or another source of power, because this looks like a normal jolly boat apart from for the mephits. If it was designed to operate on the mephits all the time, then we wouldn't have a sail and we wouldn't have oars.
And Steve, since he's manning the rudder, he sees there's a dial next to the rudder, and it has a series of little shapes tucked around the dial.
Does Steve know what those mean?
They're like little dots, and the dots go from a 1 to a 4.
What happens if you turn the dial down?
The boat slows down,
Oh,
and the sounds from the mephits become quieter.
do they look like they're working less hard?
Well, you can't see them because they're on the bottom of the boat. I guess if
Oh,
somebody leans over the side and looks, they can see.
but they sound like they're huffing less. They're not huffing as much.
They're
But
definitely making less sounds.
we're still hovering though.
You're still hovering, and you're still moving forward through their power, just not as fast.
Um,
If is there a big keel on this thing?
There is one it is deep enough that it causes there's a little bit of a difference between the kind of crystal what's the word am I thinking of? Bells that the mephits are caged within. It kind of adds more clearance than a normal jolly boat.
No, yeah, no. I'm more confused, concerned. So the magic's actually holding us in a straight line as well as making us go forward, because otherwise we'd just be
Yes.
going sideways.
Yes, and there's a balance issue too, but somehow maybe it's a house can't. You don't see a seal anywhere, but whoever designed this little boat that took into consideration also the placement of the mephits, etc., to try to keep a balance between their power and the boat itself.
So even on the lowest setting that Stiiv's playing around with, we can't actually get the boat to go into the water as a normal boat.
If he turns it all the way to below the one little dot, it plunks back into the water. And you stop hearing any sound from the mephits. Except for
My
maybe a
natural
snort here and
cautiousness
there.
is happier with that situation and treating us as a normal boat. And in an emergency, we can drop the thing and see what putting on Moonelec Speed 4 will do. But it's up to everyone else. It's not something I've had a lot of experience with, but magical devices tend to have an energy, and there is a limit to it. They're not infinite. So they're without fuel, and we don't know what the fuel for this thing would look like. I'm cautious about. I'd rather save it for an emergency than just use it constantly just for convenience.
Anyone who wants to try to riddle out how this boat works can do a survival or arcana check. And if a survival check regarding boats would be with advantage for Jozdess or Stiiv because of their backgrounds.
Okay, I'll go and stare at the mephits and look at the boat then.
So, for both the people who know boats and Kymir, you have figured out that once you have the mephits turned off, this boat is going about the third the speed that it was with the mephits turned on. You also could tell that when it was at a lower speed, not all of the mephits were working. It kind of the number of dots that you have the dial turned to controls how many mephits are are using their steam puffs to operate the vessel. And when you don't have it turned all the way up, that means the mephits that are not occupied are resting. So what you've concluded from that is that if you have it on a lower setting, there's a certain point where you break even, and at any given time there is a mephit who is fully rested, able to boost the speed of the ship.
So
but
they kind
if you
of
had it
rotate.
turned all the way up, there would be a limit of time, you'd hit a wall where all of the mephits would become exhausted, and then they would just stop motorizing the ship, and you would only be able to use oars and sail for a period
Okay.
until they rested.
So Kymir would say, well, maybe then we can compromise and reduce to 2 out of 4, and then just save the 4 for when we absolutely have to, if we have to.
I would keep it at 1 just because it's still going at a reasonable pace. As I said, boats don't travel quick at the best of times. The logic for that is just the fact that if you're running at 2, you've got 2 mephits that are heading towards exhaustion and only 2 fresh. So you wouldn't be able to run it at 4 for any period of time. You'd have a shorter emergency period than you would if you just
All right. Yeah. Okay.
It does make a lot of difference because we just got to try and work out how long we're going to be here for. But as I said, I would have assumed unless this boat's got really badly designed under sail, I'd kind of make an assumption that we'll be fine normally anyway because it's still a boat. But
So, with the mephits turned down to 1, and with your ability to catch the wind in the sails, you feel like the boat's going about 4 miles an hour. You picked up a spyglass while you were on the Golden Hook that sank.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, you're too far away from any land to be able to see anything. You see sea in all directions. Though, at first you could see a couple of the little other jolly boats going to the north rather than the southwest, but they have long since faded out of view. You do know that you were hijacked the night before. So technically it's been less than 12 hours since this boat could have possibly set sail. So there is a limit to how far it could have possibly gotten.
Yeah. So if Jozdess and Stiiv are familiar with boats, would they have a rough idea of how fast the boat we were on would have travelled?
Have Jozdess and Stiiv can do another check with advantage for survival.
I'd make a guess it's about double that, but depends on the rigging. To do so. I do badly.
Jozdess isn't quite sure because he hasn't been on that specific type of boat before. But Stiiv is familiar with that type of brig, and his best estimate is that you were about 100 miles out to sea.
Take a day.
The water tastes different out here.
Fishy?
Salty.
More cephalopod.
Yeah, they don't get out before they go. Right, so we've got 2 water skins.
You have 2 water skins, and I think some people have tasty bacon, and there's
Some
a
of us
couple
have rum.
rations, 3 rations maybe, and the rum. Also, if Kereithlana takes a peek at the ledger and reads it,
Yep.
while you're floating along, she doesn't see any specific names in the ledger. She has been able to figure out that the Golden Hook, which was the slave brig that sank, has been carrying humanoid cargo between Saltmarsh and the Lazar principalities for over 6 months. And the notes in the ledger suggest that the brig's true owner lives in Saltmarsh, and that they've been colluding in black market trade with the Black Princes. But it doesn't give any names.
Is there a cipher or anything like that, or is it just completely denuded?
It's a flat out ledger. There's no secret writing that you can tell. I mean, you've been able to interpret it basically any references to the cargo. While they may not explicitly say that they're trading in slaves, you've been able to figure out that much. But there's a distinct lack of information that says, "Oh yes, Johnny Slave Trader is the person who is responsible for all this."
It'd be too much to hope that his name was the same as his job. Right. Okay. So we need to be
It's
pretty
kind
circumspect.
of like giving your kid a stripper name.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that. So if we do head back to Saltmarsh, we need to be really sneaky about how we get back into Saltmarsh because people are going to be really surprised to see us there.
Well, not people, one person or
Specific
group.
person.
And you get a sense that they were, it was a regular practice that they might hijack either people passing through Saltmarsh or, just fishermen here or there might disappear when they need numbers.
If you want my
So-
immediate instinct, I'd go for the guy who's holding the party. Because it's such a weird behaviour to be doing that on such a regular basis without an actual need. It looks like a just unnecessary distraction. But there we are.
Could just
But-
really party.
He could, but
And
he's
with us?
supposedly in charge, and that's not a long-term solution. That's a way of hiding problems. Anyway, I don't know enough about the humans.
No.
But
You're
people who hold unnecessary parties, they're up to something. So it's just like,
You also, in this ledger, don't see any reference to the people who were taken, so they kind of have. There's if anyone is aware of who was taken specifically, if there were specific targets, the particular captain of this vessel was blind to it.
Okay.
You also have a chest, and it's sitting next to Shaefira.
Just twinkling
Ooh.
at it.
Hmm.
So, are you going to fiddle with the chest while you're on the boat, or are you going to wait till you land?
No, I'll fiddle with it now. While these everybody else is talking about how we're going to get to wherever we go, and I'll mess about with chest.
Alrighty.
Do I need to roll?
Yes. You can either do a dex save or your sleight of hand. They should be the same for your using your thieves' tools, because it is locked. But you seem to think it's like a rudimentary, regular key-operated lock. All right, no problem. You click open the lock after a few jiggles of your thieves' tools. And inside the chest, you find things.
Ooh.
I like things.
Do we
I like
know
the
that she's
shiny
opened
things.
it?
Those navigator tools and spyglass that you picked up are still in your party inventory, so whoever wants to lay claim to those items do, or they may disappear. I'm going to start dragging them over to your party sheet inventory so you can see what is what. There is 100 gold pieces. So you find some gems. There's some small Eberron dragon shards. There's some linens.
That nice pillowcase. Check that out.
Is that too nice, Steve?
Some jewelry, some trade bars of silver.
Ooh.
Oceany bits.
Yeah, there's this kind of it's like a circlet, and it's kind of like a long a long loop, but it's kind of on this golden chain that could be tied at various lengths. So it could be worn as a belt, or it could be worn as a crown, or it could be worn as a nice bolo tie.
Does it look like a crown of wave?
No, it's made out of pieces of coral and shells, and it's got it's this lovely luminous blue pearl in the center.
That's
You also find there's a contract tucked away in a fancy envelope, and it is written on high quality vellum. It has several seals on it that you see. It looks like it has been marked by both Kundarak Bank and House Civis. And from the text on this contract, you see that it is a contract that grants bearer rights of ownership to a lockbox.
I was about to say 20 inventory spaces. Uh,
Civis.
no, conduct.
So
Uh,
this contract could be taken to any Kundarak bank, and the contents of the lockbox could be retrieved to whoever holds the contract.
Dumb question. Is the chest a sea chest? So it's reasonably watertight?
Mm-hmm.
And the scroll case in it is reasonably watertight as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Close it back up.
When we finished looking at the pretties, if you reseal everything and put it back in the chest, that'd be a good idea, because it's possible the contract's worth more than the rest of the contents of the chest.
Is there any way we can secure the chest? Does it have handles that I can tie it to the boat so we don't lose it in case
Yes.
of storm? Because
You
I have
certainly-
rope.
People picked up a rope, so
I got
yes,
rope.
you could tie the chest through its handles and secure it.
Right, I would like
Of
to do that then.
If you were to get, never mind, I won't say anything.
Well, do you want me to lock it again?
Well, if that seals it and it shuts it, then yes.
Yeah.
Just to keep as I said.
Yeah, but if something happens and we have to abandon the chest, we've also abandoned the contract of the seal the scroll case.
Yes.
That's
But
a good point.
unless we can keep it waterproof, we end up with soggy paper at the end of the process.
The scroll case was tight.
I prefer to keep it in the chest and thing. As said, again, I'm not going to be overly worried.
So nobody's going to take anything out of the chest?
I'll just generally suggest that as there's 5 of us and there's 100 gold pieces and 10 trade bars, then that's an easy split of 2 trade bars and 20 gold each. That's easy. I don't know what to do with the rest of the stuff. I make a guess, but I have no way of doing it. The tiara, does it have I don't know how to because it takes an hour to work this out, as far as I can work out from the rules. Does it have? Well, I can't do it. I'd have to sit down and study it for an hour. So there's the option you may want to have. Someone may want to have a look at the tiara and think about it a lot.
And think about it a lot.
Unless people have the ability to determine magic items. Yeah.
Right, I've got another option. Kymir is not interested in the jewels or anything, so he's quite happy to just take the share of the gold and silver, just for because he realizes that he's going to have to pay for inns and things. With regards to the contract, if I emptied the bottle of rum, would I be able to put it in there and reseal it? So it's easier to carry and it's not in the...
Well, it is a scroll case, and it's not like wizards don't carry around scroll cases all the time. So somebody could easily carry it in their pack.
But would it be waterproof like that?
The case that the contract is stored in seems to be designed to be um, a somewhat pneumatic seal when it's latched.
Okay.
Right.
So if
So
it's waterproof, it's waterproof.
In that case, I retract my rope idea and say let's just split it up. Someone take the contract and we'll pursue that once we actually find Shaw.
Well, I'd say split what we can split. When we make landfall, we'll see if we can trade off in the best way we can the rest of it, and then split that evenly. I'd have caution about the tiara because it's such a weird. My inherent it's spirit magic type nonsense is triggering, frankly, but I don't know. I haven't got the ability to determine that. I don't know what use well, are the dragon shards for selling, or would they be making magic items? Because you said something about crafting previously.
It does
I-
say
Well,
it's for manufacture.
they could be used for crafting, but you know, those of you who are local to Kabara, familiar with Kabara, are aware that dragon shards are one of the natural riches of the region. There are mining operations going on around Saltmarsh specifically to mine dragon shards. So they can also be traded as a valuable substance, much
Okay.
like gold or platinum.
So yeah, I would leave most stuff alone if people want to take. Well, I believe the GM can split gold pieces evenly with a button press. I think.
Yeah, there's a button press somewhere that allows me to do that.
Okay, we'll make the assumption that you've pressed it.
Yeah.
So everyone has 20
just
gold.
everybody
Yeah?
give yourself 20 gold.
Yeah.
And you can
And-
everybody can take to trade bars, or I will give everybody two. How do you want to? You can just grab
I don't
two
know
out
how
of
just
the
grab two.
inventory.
Okay. That's 2. Oh, I've done it the dumb way, but there we are. I took 1 and I've added 2 to my inventory from that. But so I said you need to knock 1. You can clear the trade bars probably.
I will
once
clear them
everyone's
out
got
of the party inventory.
As me and Stiiv are effectively sailing for the near future, I would suggest that if someone wants to have a commune with the tiara, then they go ahead and have a commune with the tiara. I'm not going to stare at the blue elf at all, but
You can stare at me, but it's arcana.
no, it's not arcana. Anyone can pick up a magic item and determine its capabilities by attuning in it for an hour. But I can't spend an hour attuning to it because I'm sailing the boat. So, as I said, identify as if you want to do things quickly. If you've got the time to sit down and just study it, you can just work out what it does.
Okay.
If it is a magic item, it could just be a curious thing.
Okay, I'm happy to have a look at it. People are happy to do that.
Fine with me.
Okay. Yoink. Three trade.
And how do you attune to it, Kereithlana?
That bit I don't know. It just says in the.
Yeah, I'm being. I could use perception on it, I think.
Oh no, I'm more like asking, what are you doing with this object as part of
Oh, I see.
your whole, spending time examining it, checking it out, trying it on for size, seeing what happens.
Yeah, no.
Prodding it, see if it does out.
Holding it, certainly. Trying it on, not so much. If it's a belt of constriction, then that would be quite a fatal thing to do. So I'd get an insight into its nature first before actually attempting to wear it. But yeah, have a look at it and see how it's made. See if I can work out what it is, because it's a pretty thing. It's got lots of sort of sea-based things on there, so there's something in there that should talk to me. Does that make I got
All right, and everybody else, what are you doing? Let me see. Stiiv is kind of manning the mephits. Jozdess is manning the sails. So what is Kymir and Shaefira doing now that the chest has been investigated?
I'm gonna grab the contract and see if there's any like other distinguishing marks, or if there's any kind of anything that I think might be useful to try and determine who it belongs to, other than just, you know, the bank and the house civices mentioned on the seals. Or is it just very basic text? Whoever hands this in can open this lockbox.
Do an Arcana or a History check.
My two worst ones.
I will say, I mean, you see that there are seals on this contract,
Ah.
bearing
So I think pretty
bearing
paper.
signs of House Kundarak and House Civis.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's just a banknote then.
Contract law is not your forte.
Okay, then unless anyone says otherwise, I'm just going to grab it so that we've got it for when we do land.
And you just see, I mean, the basic verbiage is like, to the bearer bequeath this lockbox.
It said bequeath.
It's just a very posh I can't even say it today. Promissory note.
Okay.
It's a £5 note that's very posh.
And then once I've done that, like I said, I'm not bothered about the jewels. It's not something that Kymir is really bothered about. So I'm just going to. I recognise the fact that Jozdess and Stiiv are probably the best people to be handling the boat. So I'm just going to tuck my legs under myself and sit there and meditate.
I got distracted by the shiny gold, silver bar thing, trade bar, shiny, stroking, shiny. Are we locking the chest back up and leaving it, and
Well,
then
if
taking it?
if the only things that are waterproof, it's still worth doing it, because again, the pillowcases aren't going to survive water, and we not going to be able to stuff those. Well, you might be able to stuff those in the scroll case as well, but it seems a bit unlikely. So yeah, it's just easier to keep it there. Just use it as a party stash for the
Storage.
time being.
Yeah, I could try and lock it up again. Oh, but I'm just gonna slip that gold bracelet out while we're doing it. While I'm doing it.
Oh, do you sneak out the gold bracelet?
Mm.
Are you trying to take it without anybody noticing?
Yeah. I don't know these guys,
Ooh.
all of them, very well just yet, so they
So
won't notice.
you do a sleight of hand check, and anybody who wants to try to notice can do a perception to contest it.
I see nothing.
Oh, you do see
clumsiest.
something.
Uh,
Shaefira is a little bit too excited about this gold bracelet.
You probably need to open it before you put it on.
Yeah, well, it's more a case she sneaks out quite happily, then spends about 10 minutes with it on her arm, going, "Pretty."
Yeah. That's where I went wrong.
Yeah,
All right, I'll put it back.
I don't care. If you want to wear it, wear it. It.
I would say it probably makes it harder to swim.
Well, it's kind of small and it's light, isn't it?
It's pretty.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. But if you guys aren't bothered, I'll have the gold bracelet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unless you think Stiiv might want it.
Nah, Steve's looking at the pillowcases, but
Yeah.
he's like staring at them from across the boat, but he can't let go of the rudder, so he's just kind of like.
Do you want to put your pillow in the seaworthy chest so it doesn't get salt damage?
That's actually a really good idea.
You're good at this.
Yeah.
Should we tuck it inside one of the pillowcases as well?
That's an even better idea. Okay, so we'll put the fluffy pillow in the chest.
Really? I thought Stiiv had that fluffy pillow fair and square before you even opened this chest.
I don't want the fluffy pillow. I just want to keep the fluffy pillow suitably protected.
Oh, okay.
It would be very sad if we hit bad weather and his fluffy pillow got salt damaged and wet and
Maybe-
stopped being fluffy and became soggy and damp and moldy.
Maybe you should put a silk damask pillowcase over the fluffy pillow to help protect it. Hey, you've been floating along for a few hours now.
Can we see land?
Nope.
If we were 120 miles out
Yeah.
off of shore, it's gonna be a couple days before
What?
we get back.
I'm not saying the land we're going to. I'm thinking maybe little islands on the way.
You have not passed by any particular little islands. You've seen a whale here or there in the distance.
But no giant octopus.
No giant octopi,
Okay.
geriatric or otherwise. It's been maybe 6 hours, and you think you've traveled maybe 20 miles. Everyone do a perception check.
I'm great at these.
Natural 20.
Nice.
I got a 2.
Stop missing your pillow. It's just in the chest.
So, three of you, Jozdess, Kymir, and Kereithlana, see a flock of something flying your way in a distance.
Someone who's got free hands and a spyglass want to tell us what that is.
Yeah, Kymir's going to say, who's got the spyglass?
I got the spyglass.
Yeah, give it to someone who's not missing their pillow, and it'll be fine.
So,
Alright,
Kymir, you look through the spyglass.
Okay, do I need to take that into my inventory or does it not matter?
It doesn't matter.
No.
All right, so yeah, I'm going to look through the spyglass. Do I need to roll for that or in what I can make out?
You can do an Arcana or a Nature check.
Could be worse.
That's good enough. What you see, they look like little flying dinosaurs. You think kind of like a pterodactyl, pteranodon. There's 4
Alright.
of them.
I'm going to, whilst looking through the spyglass, I'm going to say, guys, I think we've got a problem coming towards us.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to describe what I see.
They do seem to be flying on a intersect range with you. intersect course.
Okay. Do I have enough time to drop the sails and protect those?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Or should we crank the mephits up to 4 and
Yeah,
hightail?
well, as I said, crank the mephit, so I'm going to drop the sails, because if the mephits go faster than the wind, it's going to slow us down anyway. And if the sails are up in the combat, there's all manner of horrors can happen there. So I'll try and drop the sails, and you can do what you like with the mephits once the sails are down.
We could also try the oars as well, because they're extra long, so they can reach when you're floating.
Or we could hit the things in the air with the extra long oars
Or we
if
could
they
do
come
that.
too close to us.
If they come too close to us, I believe Stiiv shoots stuff, so I'm going to rely on that
That's
in
true.
preference. And we have crossbows and hand crossbows and various other things.
Do
Right. Yeah. Okay. So if Jozdess starts stripping down the oars, the sails, I'm just gonna shout at Steve and say, "Crank it!"
Up to 4.
All right. So you drop the sails, and for temporarily, for just a few seconds, the ship slows down almost to a crawl because you have it on one method. But when Stiiv turns it back up, you go hell for leather through the sea, and Kymir, watching through the spyglass, it looks like maybe the pteranodons, when the sails were down and the mephits weren't turned up to 4, were catching up with you. But now you have the mephits turned up to 4. They aren't catching up with you, but they're keeping an even pace.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to relay that to the rest of the boat and say, look, if the mephits conk out on us in like an hour, and these things, whatever they are, don't get bored, we're still gonna have a fight.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I'd
I'll make
rather
sure
fight
to
on
say-
our terms than when we're dead in the water.
Yeah, we're better off fighting when we're able to fight rather than running out of resources and being forced to fight. So we'll go as is for the moment. Everyone make sure they're ready. Then we'll basically go to stationary and we'll fight from there.
Okay.
Well, not completely stationary. Go to 1 because the mephits seem to keep the boat stable. So if we switch them off completely, we'll have problems with the fight. So you want to be on 1 mephit for the
Okay.
battle.
So we're just gonna take a moment to sort of like prep.
I'm going to try and orientate myself because there's a chance we get all turned around in a combat. So I just want to make sure we end up going in the same direction we started off in.
What direction are they coming from, Bonnie?
They're coming from the northeast.
Okay.
I'm assuming no one's had anything more than a short rest for the people who haven't actually been doing
Yeah,
anything.
everybody, you can treat it like everybody's had a short rest. So if you have any powers that reset with a short rest, you have that. And if anybody wants to use hit die to heal themselves, they can do that. Otherwise,
I definitely
you
want
have
to
not
use
had
a
a
hit
long
die to
rest.
myself because I am injured.
All right. Someone tell me how to do the hit die thing. Is that the 1d8 thing?
Yeah.
Oh, it
On
just
your
hasn't.
main page.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, never mind. My max just hasn't recalculated.
Updated.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. It said not wounded, and then all of a sudden I was like, but it still says 10. It just didn't recalc when I leveled.
So everyone except Kereithlana is at max hit points.
Yeah, I'm only 2 off. Okay. Here we go. Oh, it's clever.
So in the past 6 hours that you've been on the ship, everybody's managed to rest and relax enough that they've recovered any wounds that they incurred on the ship, on the Golden Hook before it sank. You have the mephits turned up to 4.
Well, I drop them back down when we're actually ready to have the fight. As I said, drop it down to 1 so they catch up with us and we can be holding, waiting for them to come into range for whatever weapons people are using.
Are you doing that now?
Yeah, we'll drop it down to 1.
You're dropping it down to 1?
You may also want to tie it off as well, Steve.
The rudder.
Yeah. So you can have both hands for waving at things.
We'll go ahead and do that. Tie it off, make sure we're pointing in the direction we think we need to be going in.
Don't mind me, I'm just fiddling with things.
On the positive side, you can
I
see
fiddled with the
more
wrong
lightning
thing.
there.
I don't know what I just did there, but it was silly. Alrighty. So you turn the rudder down to the mephit setting down to 1, and the pteranodons start to close in. I'm trying to get them to the...
Oh,
Oop.
Yeah, ignore me. I was trying to see if it has a toggle on it and it doesn't.
So once you turn down the ship's motor, it takes less than a minute, but the 4 pteranodons come into range. Or at least close visual range where anyone without a spyglass can see them as well. Roll initiative.
So we have visual on these guys.
Yeah, you should be able to see them on the map now to your northeast.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, technically, I don't have them in the northeast because you're actually pointed southwest, so I have them like at the wrong direction. I can change that.
Here are technicalities.
I can leave them there, or I can put them the opposite side. Do you want me to put them on the opposite side so they're directionally accurate?
No. Unnecessary. The one question I have, though, is... okay, I see. There's little tiny squares inside the big squares. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be very small when we started out. But if you
50
zoom
feet?
in...
65 feet for the longest. Okay. I was just questioning where they're coming from because I can start lighting them up at 120.
Wait, are they showing as unidentified for you?
Yeah,
It
they're
says
showing us
unidentified creature.
creatures. I think we need to change where we are in the boat, though.
Okay, they should be showing
Because
us
it's
as
pteranodons to
identified
me.
now. Because you identified them.
Because if Steve's at the back of the boat and they're coming from behind us, then they should be closest to him, but they're currently closest
I
to
can change.
Jozdess.
I can change what direction they're coming from. That's what we were talking about a second ago.
Yeah,
They
it's
should
probably a good
actually be
idea.
closer.
Is
to
it
Steve.
easier for us to just swap places? Me
I was about to say,
me and Steve.
No, I can
Yep.
move them over.
Okay.
Sure.
It'll just take me a little bit of steps to drag them all the way to the other side, but it's no problem.
Clearly, this is not a setup for a sneak attack round.
No, there's no sneaking here because you
Mm.
saw him coming.
Thank you. Sorry. I know it's petty.
All right, so there they are. Or actually, really, technically, since they're coming from the northeast and you're headed southwest, they should be here.
Okay.
Alrighty. Fun, fun, fun.
I would like to pew pew.
Jozdess gets to act first.
All I'm going to do is move in the boat to about to here, and that's all I can do. And that's my move. I'll hold a ready action, so if they do come within actual melee range to attack people, I can wonk them. But that's me done. I don't know how to skip to the end, but there we are.
That's because the Pteranodons, she has it's set so we don't see the
All right.
Pteranodon initiative, so
All
they're
right.
going to bounce as their turns come up.
Okay.
So the one of the pteranodons flies forward and attacks Stiiv. Hits. Claws at him for 3 damage. Or not technically
we
claw,
didn't
he
get
chomps on him for 3 damage.
so we didn't get any shots off while they were approaching.
No, we did straight initiative. And Jozdess is the only one who was before any of the pteranodons.
Well, since he hit me, I would like to turn around and use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
We've got an entire party of people who just get hit and then destroy the person who hits them.
Pretty much.
Um,
No, we're going to end up with bad guys who know that they just need to suffocate us. Very little.
So when the pteranodon bites you, you're like, and what it does it takes the form of fire? Is it like this? You hold up your hand and it's what does it look like when you hellish rebuke something, Stiiv?
Well, the official description is that you point your finger and the creature that damaged you is momentarily surrounded by hellish flames. So basically, the Pteranodon comes and chomps at Stiiv, and he just points his finger at it and goes, "Oh hell no!"
And the
And he's surrounded in
pteranodon bursts into flame.
Green flames.
Green flames. And goes, "Rawr!" Or whatever sound pteranodons make. Alrighty. Kymir.
Right, so I'm assuming if it's coming down to attack Stiiv, it's at a level that I could hit it if I move closer to it.
Yes.
And I can't really stand on top of Stiiv though, can I?
He's kind of you could kind of technically there's 2 squares.
There, like that.
Yeah. You can kind of balance on the edge of the boat.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack it, obviously.
Alright, you hit.
That didn't roll. Okay, that's weird. Hang on. There we go.
and don't forget your bonus attack as well.
Yes. So I just roll. Do I roll for
You roll another
attack
attack
again?
roll for your offhand attack.
Oh, never mind then.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna leave it at that.
All righty. Another one of the pteranodons flies forward. This one also. I can't tell what square you're in, Jozdess. You're in
I'm zoomed
fourth.
right out, so I don't know whether I am what square I did. Well, I can't. I'm not. It's not. Oh, there we go. So I'm there.
They've got a hell of a move.
They do. That's why they caught up with you so quickly. You were going the exact same speed as them when you had all 4 methods going.
So
But
if
once
it's
you
attacked
slowed
me,
down,
sorry.
they could fly pretty fast and catch up with you. So it is attacking this pteranodon. Why can I not say that? This pteranodon is attacking Jozdess. It misses, though.
Can I take my reaction now?
Yes, you can.
Oh. I'll go to the thing. Dun. So it's that one. Yeah, no. And
Shaefira.
oh, okay.
I think I will take a shot with my short bow to Pteranodon 3.
Don't know.
I'm
Well, I
assuming
was
it's
using a
high
reaction
enough.
myself.
Eh?
What's the question?
You what, sorry?
No, we're trying to decide if Jozdess was talking to us or just had his mic
No,
on.
no, sorry, my mic was down and Hillary was asking me something and I just
Ah.
reacted. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so Jozdess, he's not in the way, is he? The thing's flying above
it's
him,
fine.
so I can still take a clear shot. Yeah. Okay.
All right, you hit it with an arrow. All right.
Oh, sorry, no, that's the wrong one. Wrong one.
Oh, the pteranodon you hit, though.
Same result.
I'm trying to figure out what you did. What was wrong?
I did the rapier damage instead of short bow damage. The first time I did rapier.
I think it stacks them though, so it thinks you've done 2 attacks now.
Oh,
Wait, let me look at something.
No, sorry.
Oh, I see. Actually, no. It looks like the second time you did it, you got the same amount of damage, but I'll fix it.
Yeah.
But it should still have only sustained 7 damage instead of 14.
Yes. So now it's only done 7 damage. It's going to no longer be unconscious in a second. But you do see from hitting it with an arrow that that pteranodon is visibly bloodied.
Okay. Yeah, that's me done.
Stiiv.
I was hoping that would get some of this cleared up before it was my turn. But, oh well. Well, that Pteranodon number 3, they're not the one that. Actually, both of them are pretty messed up, huh? So, yeah, we're
One of
just
them
going
looks
to
more
try.
messed up than the other.
Yeah, we're just going to take a stab at Pteranodon 4 because he's the one that, is like chomping on my face.
He
And
was mean to your face.
Yeah, I'm not keen on people eating my face like lobster scorpion babies.
Has Stiiv run into a lot of lobster scorpion babies?
He's seen them. No one believes him, but he tells them stories about it. I don't know why they don't believe him.
Did you double? Wait.
Yeah, I just rolled like crap. Melee is not his forte.
But we need to double that because it was a nat 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's rolled the additional damage.
yeah, rolled the additional. I just got a 3 and a 1.
Oh,
And I only have
God.
a +1 because melee is not my forte. So it's just a really crappy critical. He kind of does that screech thing from Saved by the Bell, where he puts one hand over his face and is like waving the short sword around and just got lucky and is screaming, "Not the face! Don't mess up my face!" Which is already messed up.
Well, this pteranodon also looks bloodied at this point now.
Well, he should be pretty messed
Once
up.
you stab it with
Because he got hit
your
with
Eldritch Blast.
no, that was just plain old short sword.
Oh, that was your plain short sword? Okay, okay. You're
Yeah,
using your short sword as a short sword?
Yeah, but he also should have taken the hellish rebuke damage too.
Yeah, he did. But that was like
8.
That was 8, and he took 5 damage for your crit hit.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to do?
Oh no. That's it.
All right. Another one of the pteranodons flies forward. And it attempts to bite Kymir. It misses.
Unfortunately, I don't have a reaction type thing.
And now it is someone else's turn. Kereithlana.
Hooray!
You're someone else, and it is your turn.
Yay! Go me. Right. Can I jink down the boat and swing at Pterodon?
You can.
Pterodon number 3. Warhammer. Not with that. I'm a danger to everybody else around me.
All right, do a dex save. Do a dex save. All right, you're fine.
I didn't drop my warhammer.
You kind of weave and wobble because you overswung, and for a second it looked like you might tip over the side of the boat, but you didn't. You righted yourself.
That'd just be. Okay, I'm done.
The last of the pteranodon. I stopped talking with the push to talk press down, so I'm sure I cut off what I said. The last of the pteranodons flies forward, and this one tries to bite Shaefira. But it misses, I think.
That's good because Shaefira's actually gone for a smoke.
It does miss. We're going to skip some of the stuff because your boat technically had, and your sails and all that technically have hit points. Your sails don't because you took them down. But your boat has hit points. It's Jozdess's turn again.
Okay. So I'll. Mike's all the way out of position, so I'm targeting him. So I'm going to swing with my machete and then follow it up with my short sword, and then I'll make a decision if I'm going to try and murder it.
So your machete misses, but your short sword hits.
which is that one.
Was that using your action surge?
No, that's just offhand attacks. And then I've got to remember which one is it. Bonus action, make special attack, and I will blow my hungry jaws because it's annoying me. But I don't hit, so that's that gone as well. I'm done. I flail around ineffectually.
But you did a point of damage.
Hmm.
It's still kind of crying overhead. All right. One of the pteranodons tries to bite Stiiv again. He was so tasty the first time, but misses. Kymir.
Right. I'm going to switch to Pteranodon. 2.
All right, that's a hit.
And I'm going to spend a key point and do Flurry of Blows.
Alrighty.
Okay, so that's 2 unarmed strikes. So again, do I need to do the attack?
Well,
Yes,
each
before you do the flurry of blows, you can still do your offhand attack.
I've got my second one, haven't I? Yeah. So, sorry, do that first.
Isn't the key blows a bonus action same way as the offhand attack?
Verifying that.
I don't know.
I don't believe it is. Is it?
Yeah. So she can either take
Yeah. So she can
one
either do the
extra attack or
offhand,
up to.
or she can do the flurry of blows to take.
Right, I'll do the
2.
flurry to get 2.
Yeah.
Right, so can I roll 2 attacks to see if they both hit and then do the 2 damage roll?
Uh-huh.
So that hit. Ooh.
Ooh.
So when you roll your damage now, you should do a critical one first because it's remembered. Oh
Oh,
no!
shit. Too late.
No.
Alright.
Now we can use that critical modifier that I found.
I don't know how to do a crit roll.
Up at the upper right-hand side of the screen where the party sheet is, there's one that looks like a plus and minus that says modifiers. You
Yep.
open that up, and then there's one that's for damage. Click on critical, and it works as a toggle. So click that, and then roll your damage, and it should automatically critify the second hit.
There you go.
Just like that.
Kerblam.
I did not target the damn thing, so unfortunately it's not.
But
yeah, sorry.
It's very dead, and its body falls into the ocean water.
Woohoo!
Did she kill it with an uppercut and have some guy's face run on the screen and go, "Toasty"?
Yes. She like punched its little pteranodon skull in half. And its beak went kind of like fluttering, flipsy flopping, flying in a whirlwind over the water. So it landed in one direction and the body landed in another. Anything else, Kymir?
No, that will be it.
All right.
Yeah.
Hungry pteranodon tries to chomp Kereithlana. It chomps Kereithlana. Doing 3 damage. Is there any reaction from Kereithlana?
You're not going to rebuke it.
No. Bit of a...
Okay.
All right. Then Shaefira.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at number 3 again with my short bow.
if you're engaged in combat, it's not a good idea to shoot the crossbow.
It's not a crossbow.
Short bow.
Short bow.
Yeah, you're better off with a rapier.
You're better off hitting the one that's adjacent to you, because otherwise you'll generate possible reactions.
You're at disadvantage as long as something is adjacent to you.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Then. Yeah, number 1. Target that one.
Control and click it.
There you go.
Yeah.
I shall use my rapier on number 1. Wrong way. Hang on. Sorry.
You stabbed it with a pointy end. Oh, you did 6 damage. It looks visibly bloodied.
But it's still flying.
It's still flying. Anything else?
No.
Stiiv!
Hi, Steve. So Pteranodon 4 is still alive, so I'm just gonna try and stab it. Nah.
That is a hit.
This one's tough. And that's all I got.
Kereithlana!
Okay, I'm gonna have another go. Hit. That's.
You hit, and you've smashed it quite dead into the ocean.
I mean, oh, that's terrible.
Hey for the Smurf.
Woohoo! Okay, can I shift over to the other side of the boat and threaten Pteranodon 1?
You want to move?
Yeah, sideways.
You can totally move.
Blech. Okay. That.
Alright, confronted with 2 tasty options, that Pteranodon still tries to bite Shaefira. But misses.
Yay. Too short.
Jozdess.
Oh, right. I'll move over, target him, and start flailing around ineffectually again. Bear with me. Yeah, that's ineffectual flailing if you ever see it. And that's ineffectual flailing. Yeah, there we go.
You've caught my dice disease. This pterodon tries to chomp on Kymir. Misses.
Whoop.
Kymir! How do you react?
Kymir attacks 4. Target it. Ah.
Alright, your first hand is a miss.
Right.
What about your follow-up?
Oh.
It's also a miss.
The infection is
It's spreading!
spreading.
Oh, the dice.
We need to burn some
Anything
sage
else?
Just trying to decide. I've got a no. That's it. I'm going to do that. Yeah, just
Okay, I'll have a hit at number.
You're gonna stab number one.
Yes.
Hopefully,
Oh.
it's a hit.
Oh.
And
Mm.
you stab it right in the kidney, and it kind of droops dead while stabbed on your rapier,
Excellent.
and then the body just kind of slides off the blade and ploops into the ocean.
I wipe my blade on my already mucky leathers and end my turn.
Stiiv, you're the last. You have the last little friend.
go on, Stiiv, do it.
The first and the last one.
Yeah, your best buddy.
Well, since he's still all up in my face, I'm gonna try and stab him again. Nope, that's not gonna do it.
That's a miss.
That's not gonna do it.
Sorry, Stiiv. Kereithlana.
Okie dokie. I will target Pterodon number 4. He's gonna go down. I throw Sacred Flame.
What does your sacred flame look like?
Strangely, it's kind of blue and green.
Oh, is it swirly?
More kind of undulating like the sea, rather than swirly. Alright.
All right.
Oh,
That's a fail on his part. So you undulate
Ignore
like
that
the
one.
sea in the pterodon's face,
yes. It gets
And-
confused. It falls
Boom.
over.
and it also falls into the ocean.
Woohoo! It's another mighty leap for Smurf Kai.
Oh, you guys are out of initiative order.
Okay. Steven.
And- While you've continued to chug along to the southwest while you've been fighting.
Nobody died. That's great.
I think you're the only one who lost hit points.
Yeah,
It
Stu was the
was.
only one who got nibbled.
No,
I
I did
got
as well.
You got nibbled as well?
Yeah. You did chomp.
A few little chomp marks.
Practically affectionate.
Yes. So now you are back. You're free of predators. How do you resume your time in the boat?
We really should have caught one of those guys before they fell in the water. That would have made a nice snack.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I'm thinking might be hungry by now. And after all that, then
You have 3 days of rations amongst you, if I remember correctly.
is the rations like per person or is it for the group?
It's 1 day's rations for one person. So you have 3 days rations for enough food for 3 people for 1 day. Plus, you have, some of you might have tasty bacon. Tasty bacon does suffice as a day's rations.
Okay.
Okay, this is weird, but do we need to eat if we are injured? Or is it just like, because obviously I would be starving at this point after 6 hours at sea and fighting pteranodons.
Plus, we don't know how long we were out cold on the boat before we.
Exactly, yeah.
Everybody who needs food, which I think all of you do, none of you are Warforged.
No.
I think you're all species that eat food.
We have no toasters
Yep.
or undead.
So at this point, it's been at least 16 hours since you've last eaten anything.
Okay.
So,
Probably not a good idea to drink the rum right now.
so it, or it might be a really fun time.
Well, look what happened last time I got drunk.
But it's safe to say everybody is hungry, and most of you are probably, except for maybe the elf, I would say are getting to the point where they're going to need to rest, or they might risk some exhaustion.
Well, I'll go ahead and eat my tasty bacon, since it's got a shelf life anyway, and I'm missing hit points, and I need food. So that's everything all wrapped into one.
Yep, I'll eat mine the same.
So that's 2 hit points.
Do I need to roll because I haven't actually lost any hit points, or can I just reduce my tasty bacon ration?
Yeah, if you just eat your tasty bacon, you can just burn your bacon. You don't need to roll for hit points.
Or you could just eat a ration
Or you
rather
can
than.
eat rations.
Nah, I'll just take the bacon. It's fine. Save the rations.
I haven't got any tasty bacon. Can I have like a drink of rum and smoke my pipe and tobacco? That'll suffice. Healthy living and all that.
You're probably still going to be a bit hungry, but you're going to be too drunk to care.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
It's real life entering fantasy.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
What about Jozdess? There aren't any eggs on this boat. If
Well,
maybe
I
somebody
ate my tasty bacon last session, so if it's a day's food, I'm not going to need to eat for a while anyway.
if one of those crit hits had killed one of the pterodons, there might have been an egg plopped out, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
So effectively, if people want to rest, we'll just have to take shifts. I'm good to go for a while yet, due to oddities of my being. So if Stiiv and other people want to rest, then I'll guide the ship for the 8 hours, and then I'll rest after them.
Sure, I'll take a nap. Since there's only 2 of us that are proficient with bows, makes sense for us to switch.
Are you still going to wait? So are you moving over to the rudder, Jozdess? Or
I
are you
assume
just
so.
going to man the sails?
Well, no, I'm not going to put the sails up because that'll just make it vastly too complicated. This vessel's designed for multiple people, so running the engine, and I'll just run the engine slightly more on 2 dots, and hopefully it won't cause any problems while we're sleeping. Drop it back to 1 tomorrow when we can get the sails back up.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming everyone needs to rest.
I can
you
never think about things for
you have
4
to
hours.
meditate, but
Yeah.
it means you can't be manning the sails and things. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Kymir is going to say, I could just hold the rudder. That's fine. I'm assuming I don't need any experience to hold a piece of wood.
We could turn it off.
Well, it's
Yeah.
more a fact that you've got to compensate for the currents and things like that. Holding the rudder straight won't keep us going in a straight line.
But yeah, someone could try to teach her, and she could do a check to see if she succeeds and learns how to do it. But
So I'm really not worried. I'm not going to be worried unless we go like 24 hours without me getting to sleep. So not stressed yet.
All right, so you're taking the first 8 hours.
Well, basically, I want Kereithlana to rest properly and Stiiv to rest properly, and then I'll rest-ish. As I said, I don't have any benefit for getting a long rest realistically, so I'll quite happily catnap once they've finished.
Okay.
And you only need 4 hours, Kereithlana?
Yeah.
I'll run the engine on 2 dots unless I think it's causing problems or we start slowing down if the mephits actually get tired. And that should make up for the lack of sails.
And are Kymir and Shaefira napping?
Yes, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm worn out now. I've had some rum and tobacco, so need a rest.
Yeah. When it went straight to your stomach.
Yep.
Since you hadn't eaten.
Absolutely. I'm only tiny as well, so it's quite strong.
So a quarter of the bottle probably is all it took.
Yeah.
So 4 hours pass. Kereithlana is able to have a long rest.
Yeah.
After you wake up, you finally have enough uninterrupted time to study the circlet of oceany bits.
Mhm.
And you can tell it's a magical item. And you sense that if it's worn, it grants the ability to cast some spells.
Do we know what spells?
You think that it takes a little bit extra time wearing it before you come into the full powers, but what you sense is the wearer can cast one of 2 spells once per long rest. And the spells are either casting Zephyr Strike or Absorb Elements, but it only would work for lightning and thunder damage.
So Zephyr Strike.
Zephyr Strike, you move like the wind. For the duration, your movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. In addition, the first time you make a weapon attack on your turn before the spell ends, you make the attack roll with advantage and your speed increases by 30.
And it does extra damage as well. It's a bonus action to use.
Yeah.
And then of course the other one is the Absorb Elements, lightning and thunder only. You can use one of those 2 spells once per long rest if you are fully attuned wearing this item.
Okay. Who would get best advantage?
It says a weapon attack. Does that include spells then, or is it specifically for weapon?
It has to be an actual weapon attack. Spell attack, something different.
But
Right.
an unarmed attack would work.
Like
Yes.
a melee. I mean, it would still
Unarmed
apply
strike
to
is
unarmed
considered
strikes.
yeah, it's considered a weapon attack.
Yeah. Okay, flip the question round. Who wants it?
Well, they're still sleeping. But you know this now. And you can tell Jozdess. So you can like sit there, contemplate it. About another the rest of the 8 hours.
I've got no real interest in it. Sorry.
Okay.
So by the time the 8 hours pass, you feel like you've gone another 20 miles, so you've gone about 40 miles all total. Everybody else starts waking up. So everybody except for Jozdess has had a long rest. Shaefira, you are famished. You're pretty hungry now.
She got the drunchies now.
Hmm. So you're gonna need to eat in the next 8
Yeah.
hours.
I have no food. I could
Would
do
you
with
like
somebody giving me some food.
would you like some rations?
Yes, please.
Okay, Steve will share his ration.
Thanks. I only need half rations because I'm teeny tiny.
I don't think rations work that way, at least in game.
Oh.
It's like they're one size fits all rations.
It's like that Willy Wonka pill. It's just a little pill that whoop.
Ah, yeah.
So there's my rations.
The other one.
And that 8 hours passes, and I'm assuming once everyone else has had a long rest, Jozdess is going to take a break.
Yeah, I'll just sleep.
So more
And
time
Steve will get back on the
passes.
rudder.
More time passes. Jozdess is able to have a long rest. And I'm going to apply a long rest now, so everybody should have all their stuff refreshed.
Cool.
Anybody with boo-boos should no longer have boo-boos. And another 8 hours passes uneventfully. Kymir, you keep looking through your spyglass. And now you can spot land in the distance. There's two different things. One is a little island that seems to have some standing stones on it. And then you see a larger mass of land beyond that. And if you describe this to the party,
Yeah.
Stiiv will tell you, that's Saltmarsh in the distance.
Wait, there's what in the distance?
That's Saltmarsh in the distance.
Oh, that's Saltmarsh.
The standing stones are a little landmark. They're on a little island in the harbor.
We can see home.
That's not my home.
So we'll say it takes a little bit more time for you guys to navigate, but you've reached the harbor of Saltmarsh successfully.
Do we actually want to go directly into the harbour?
That's a good point.
The other question I have, and this is something I have no idea because the rules vary, there's no consistent rule on it. What are the rules on marine salvage?
What do you mean rules on marine salvage?
Finders keepers.
It doesn't work that well. If it does, it's brilliant. But usually, I would have expected if we go into a harbour with a harbour master in a vessel that we don't have papers for, then our options are to claim salvage on it, which means the harbour master gets a cut, or some other arrangement. But again, I don't know what the rules would be in Eberron. I'm talking in standard 15th century privateer rulings.
Once you start getting in close,
Who
though,
says
you start to see fishing vessels, regular fishing boats, in and around near the harbor. It would be easy enough for you to abandon this boat and hitch a ride with somebody else.
Well, we don't even need to
We
go
want
in
to
directly.
try and sell it.
We don't even need to go in directly to the harbor. I got all sorts of back roads that we could
Likewise,
go
yeah, you could either sneak into the harbor. At this point, let me think how much time has actually passed. It's about mid-afternoon the next day. So you could wait a few hours and try to go in under the cover of night, or Stiiv could direct you to an inlet a little bit farther up the coast where you could tie down the boat. I'm not sure why Stiiv would know of different inlets.
Yeah, I don't know why I would know of different inlets either. It's certainly not because I had a previous career of questionable legal activities. That's definitely not the case. I'm just a native to the region.
Uh-huh.
To my mind, the simplest thing, if you want to sell the boat, then the simpler one is to go into the harbour. We don't worry about any consequences, and if we get queried by the harbour master, we claim marine salvage. And then we're going to be reporting to the local guards and I know the local guards, so we need to report to the local militia guards, etc., about what happened, and we can provide them the ledgers and the various evidence we've got.
Yeah. If you feel confident that, you're in the right in terms of, hey, you were hijacked and you were escaping a sinking
Well,
ship and
it's
took
not
this.
going to make any difference, because if we sneak in and then walk into Saltmarsh, we're in the same thing as if we sail into Saltmarsh.
I think
People who've been basically shanghaied have returned back up, and so, as I said, certain members of us are not going to be hideable. So you see, if we're going back into Saltmarsh, we might as well just go in the front door.
I think the
Stiiv,
question is, do we think this little boat would be useful to us in anything else? Do we want to go with Steve's little recommendation of an outside inlet to stash it somewhere so we can use it again if we need?
and Stiiv has the idea that Saltmarsh has a lot of problems with pirates and the like. And there's a pretty good shot that if you say, hey, we got this off of pirates, that there's likely not going to be a lot of people questioning that. And the general sense in the town is going to be in favor of you keeping it. That it is kind of finders keepers rules because.
Yeah, it really depends on how lawful Saltmarsh is. Depends whether they've got rules to handle this or whether they do it by hand waving, and depends on who knows who.
I mean,
So
there certainly is a town watch, and
It's like Mos Eisley. It's a smuggler colonial village.
there are town councilors, etc. But up front, there's probably not going to be any problem with it. You might try.
Right.
Somebody might try to ping you with like property taxes down the line, though.
Can't we just bribe them to make them go away?
But
That's
like
basically what it
nobody's
is.
gonna like try to seize the boat when you first come into the dock. Is the
Right.
general
So
sense.
if Steve tells us that, then I would be like, okay, let's just go in quickest way.
right. So as long as nobody's got any complaints, my intention's to report this and take the ledger to Alandir Fireborn. He's the captain of the town guard.
Okay.
All right.
But
Kymir's
other than that, I'll leave. If you want to go and sell the junk, what you want to do with the boat, that's really up to you. I've got no concerns about it.
No, Kymir wants to go to the bank with contract.
So you're agreed that you're kind of just sailing into the docks, into the harbor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steve thinks this is a whole lot of unnecessary work, but okay, we can go to the docks.
Do you like what do? You like tie up your boat to the dock? Just pick a berth.
Yeah, I guess, and maybe have a look and see if anyone's sort of like,
There are
oh,
little
look, they're back.
urchins running around, little fisher kids. You can tip one of them to watch out for your property, or you can just leave it as is.
The boat or the chest?
The boat.
Well, the chest can get wore down, but the point is that I don't. You effectively have to report the boat to the harbour master to make sure that other people don't sail off in it.
Yeah, we need to empty the chest before we disembark and decide whether or not we're going to get someone to look at it or report it or whatever. We need to make sure we've emptied that chest first.
Yeah, we need to find out what to do with the mephit as well.
Well, the mephit's a part of the boat.
Yeah, but they're also living beings, so there's got to do something with. I have no idea about the upkeep.
I'm not going to define.
saw you tear them.
I'm not going to define a mephit as a living being. It may need food and sustenance of one form or another, but it ain't a living being.
Once
Okay, fine.
you stop the boat, you can tell that all the
Outside
mephits have
aberration.
snoozed, and the boat is just kind of floating on the water now. And from looking at it now that the mephits are off, there's no visible sign that there's any mephit power to this boat because they're all just kind of submerged under the water in their little
let's
glass
do it a
bells.
different way. You guys disembark. I'll sit in the boat. I'll send an urchin to get Eldar, Lander, to come to me. I'll keep the stuff there. I'll keep a watch on the boat, and if there is a harbour master, you can guys, when you finish going to the bank and doing whatever you want to do, you can go and talk to them about what you do about making sure the ship, if you need to register the ship in your name, because there's got to be a way of porting the boats and keeping them safe and stopping people just wandering off with it. Because at the end of the day, this is only a jolly boat, but it's a jolly boat with a mephit engine on it, which makes it unusual and possibly more valuable. But you guys do land-based stuff. Yeah, and I'll just wait and report things when Eladar gets to me. So
A little while after you you anchor at the docks, there are a couple town watch guards who approach you, who are effectively with the town guard station and monitor things here at the docks. They kind of act as harbor masters.
Mm-hmm.
And they take your report. They ask you if you can give any kind of directions for the activity, the location, the general location of where that boat that sank might have been.
I give them as much as we can, but as I said, it's sunk now. There's not going to be much use there. I can describe the crew. I can describe the captain.
They want like you can provide directions when you last saw people.
Yeah, I'll basically tell them everything, but I'd rather actually speak to the captain directly. And I'll apologise, but I'm inconvenienced while I'm standing watch on the boat.
And you sent them off to find him?
Well, I was going to send an urchin off with...
Because he doesn't normally come to the scene.
No, but he's my contact, as are whoever Tom and Will Stoutly are. It's part of my marine background.
Tom and Will Stoutly.
I don't know who those are.
So Eleander might not be able to come to the dock right away.
But I don't want to hand the ledger over to just the town guard.
Even if they are the harbour masters?
Yeah, they're the harbour master, but they're not the captain of the guard. And the fact that we've got evidence of a series of kidnappings and slave trade being run out of Saltmarsh is a little bit more than the harbour master, I would assume, would take on. If
you want to get rid of that ledger anytime soon, you might need to go directly.
Yeah, well, I will. If they're not willing to get him, I will sit on the boat and wait till everyone else comes back, or until I get bored and hungry, and I'll just wander off. But
but they give you a little kind of receipt and like a little case number, and they take your name because they're going to write up a little report that you have acquired this. It's considered a temporary license to own a boat. And then they say something like, if you want to go fishing on that, you're going to need to get another license from the town council. And you see fishers kind of walking past as the guard says this, and you hear them laugh and scoff and just keep moseying on their way at the mention of a fishing license.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to go fishing, so that's fine.
All right. So you're waiting at the dock for Eleander, for word to reach Eleander and...
Well, I'm waiting for whichever
them to
happens first. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody else, what was your intention?
I was going to take the contract to the bank.
I think it'd be a useful idea if everybody apart from Jozdess did. Just so we know what's going on.
You're going to head to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, in the lack of interest from anybody else, I was also going to tune myself to the next circle.
I missed that you broke up, sorry.
In the lack of interest from anybody else, I was going to attune myself to the tiara.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
So you plop that on your head. You think it's going to take
Yeah.
about a day before it really kicks in.
Okay.
So pretty on you.
But
Oh,
yes,
thank you.
it's got this. The blue pearl is just dazzling against your green hair.
It's going to look awesome when I take it on holiday.
I'm gonna smuggle myself on home and make sure that I put that brand new fluffy pillow in the pillowcase on my bed.
I'm going to share like the little Saltmarsh town map. Where it says Kingfisher River, just replace that with Crimson River, since we're in Eberron. So you can see that the Crimson River kind of bisects Saltmarsh, and the harbor is in that area that's bisected. You see the little island where the standing stones were that were the first thing that you spotted coming into the harbor. And those little docks is where Jozdess is hanging out right now. When you go to try to reach Eleander, you're going to head west towards... Do you guys get actual labels for things on your map when you see it?
No.
Or is it just
No.
little buildings?
Just little
Little
bit.
building.
There's a gray building to the
Building.
west of the harbor that is the watchtower.
The one that's got the little circular bit attached to it.
It might be south of that.
On a
sort of
crossroads.
like a crossroads, yeah.
That'll be a pub. They're talking about the thing that looks like a temple. I'm assuming.
You see that there is a large bridge connecting
Yep.
the two parts of the city.
Yes. Okay, there's a grey building directly south of the bridge, and then one below that. Sorry.
The building, the gray building directly south of the bridge is where the bank is located.
Right, okay.
It is a building that is dedicated to both the mining company, the Dwarven mining company from the Moor Holds, as well as the Kundrik Bank.
Okay.
I guess we're
And
heading
then
down there then.
you're most likely to find Eleander in the gray building just to the west of that, or it's a little ways to the west of that. At this time of day, he's not at home probably, but his home is south of the mining bank. They're all gray buildings. I'm noting a
Okay,
trend.
Are those directions as the compass point as you'd expect them, or per the compass rose on the map?
The directions are as the compass points. That is another thing to point about this map. It
Oh, yeah.
is.
North is wrong.
Do not pay attention to that compass. The directions are actually the normal compass directions.
As you'd
So north
expect,
is
right,
up. Hmm.
Right, okay.
Yes, this map was drawn for a different continent in a different campaign setting.
Okay.
So are you headed to the bank first?
Yes. Well, I am. I don't know who's coming with me.
Do you not want to get some food or something first?
Oh, that's a really good idea, actually. Yes, especially considering I know that Shaefira's not.
You will pass through a market on your way, just off the docks is the market. You'll also pass by the Snapping Line Tavern that serves all the claw wine.
Kymir is going to avoid the claw wine.
But you can easily pick up, some fruit or a little bit of food as you pass through the market.
Yeah, I think that's probably something he would do.
Yep.
Cross the bridge to the south and head to the bank then.
Sure.
The pathways, the official cobblestone lining pathways are a bit long and windy, but if you want to cut through between buildings, you certainly can as a shortcut.
Do we want to cut through?
Let's take the
Sure.
winding path.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So the
So it's
cobblestones,
longer to eat.
the cobblestones wind to the east or the west.
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 All right.
Yeah.
If you go west, you will pass by the barracks and jail, and that is where Eleander is most likely to be this time of day.
All right. So we could call in and get him to go speak to Jozdess.
And there's also another tavern across the street from that.
Okay.
He might be in there as well.
All right. So what do we reckon? Do we reckon we call in the barracks, see if we can find Oleander and
Barracks first, then pub.
I could go to the tavern while you guys go to the barracks.
I
Just
feel
to
a
check.
trend going on here.
It's no problem going to the tavern.
Stands outside
Be
with a
happy
pipe
to go
and
to
a
the
tobacco.
tavern.
If you want to separate, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go to the barracks first.
Yeah, I'm heading to the barracks.
I'll stick with these guys just in case.
Oh, she sounds so sad.
Yeah.
Really wanted to drink. Hey, hang on. Where's Stiiv in all this?
Stiiv ducked home to plant his
Of course he did.
willow.
Yeah,
Yeah, guy drop some
I
stuff
forgot.
off at home, and then since no one's looking at me, I'm gonna use Mask of Many Faces and change how I look, and then stroll into the tavern and get lit.
Oh, so are you at the cutting line, drinking claw wine? I mean, the snapping
Yeah,
line.
he's gonna have he's gonna be at the snapping line.
Just drinking away. Did you forgot about the other people?
Yeah, just appreciating people not looking at me funny for once.
Okay. So it's just Kereithlana, Shaefira, and Kymir
It
At-
seems so.
at the barracks and the jail.
Apparently, yeah.
So you get there. There are a few guards sitting behind desks, or some of them are actually standing guard, literally. It's a bit of a large open room. You see a few guards doing combat training with training dummies. And there is a very husky, tall man leaning on a peg leg against the far wall. And it looks like everyone is deferring to him. Since Stiiv isn't with you and Jozdess isn't with you, you're not sure who this is.
Okay, can I use insight? Work out who it is.
Sure.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you're just gonna have to go up and talk to him.
Okay. Are either of you two a people person?
I guess I get along with people quite well when I've had a
Okay.
drink.
So she picks her pockets.
not inspiring me with confidence, but yeah, go ahead.
Right, shall I go speak to him?
Go for it.
Do I need
Shake
to roll?
those hips.
Do I need to roll anything?
No, you can just go up and talk to him.
Okay.
Ask him. You approach this man, and he's on a peg leg. And he immediately says, only one person can visit. Bounder's in jail at a time. Who you here to see?
We're here to see. I can't actually remember his name. What's his name?
Ilander.
The guy.
Yeah, Ilander.
Oleander?
Ilander.
Lander.
Lilyander.
Oleander's the guy from Harry Potter, isn't he? Oh my god.
Oleander's a plant.
Lilyander's a plant.
Oleander's a plant. Anyway, sorry, Ilander.
Ilander. Hi, excuse me, sir. Could you possibly tell me where I can find Ilander?
Well, he's not in jail. He's not a prisoner here. He's the boss. You gotta
Yes, but
go
where is
upstairs.
he?
You have to go upstairs to see him, but do you know Fireborn? Is he expecting you?
I'm here to deliver a message for somebody who does know him and who would really like to speak.
Oh, that sounds awfully mysterious.
Mm.
So you don't have an appointment?
No, we don't. We've just come in on a boat, and it's really important that we go speak.
I'll ring him. Let him know that you're coming up. And he reaches out a hand, and there's like a bell on the wall, and he rings it, and it's just this big clang, clang, clang. And then he points to some stairs.
Excellent. So we'll go up the stairs, or I'll go up the stairs. I don't know if you guys are following.
Yeah, I will follow along behind Shaefira.
Yeah, may as well. In for a penny.
So you get to the top of the stairs. There's a couple of rooms, but one of them does have a placard outside of it, that says Captain of the Guard. The door is closed.
Knock.
You hear a gruff, "Come in."
Enter.
All right. You see behind the desk. You see an older, very muscular man behind the desk. He has a few visible scars. Obviously, he's lived a rough and combat-oriented life. He's looking at various papers. Looks like boring paperwork. And he looks up at you, and he has a bit of a cautious stare as he gazes over the three of you because he doesn't recognize any of you. And he says, "What do you want then?"
I say, good day, sir. We have come with a message from Jozdess. We've recently landed in your harbour. Jozdess wishes to talk to you about various things, and it's quite urgent. And we'd like it if you would head down to the boat to speak to Jozdess face to face.
Jozdess, eh? Right. I'll do that straight away, but who are the three of you? Might I know your names?
My name is Shaefira.
Gave him your real name.
Yeah.
What parts are you from, Shaefira?
I had some rum before I came. I can't
Oh, so
actually
you don't remember where you live, huh?
No.
Ah, you're one of those types.
I'll tell you next.
You know,
Yeah,
keep in mind, we don't like much trouble here in Saltmarsh.
I'm not much trouble
Make
at
sure
all.
when you do
sir,
all that
sorry.
drinking, you don't get up into any trouble. Shaefira, parts unknown, likes to drink. He's making notes.
I bet you anything, right? I'll meet him in a tavern and we'll have a couple of drinks and we're best buddies in no.
Now, what about you? And he points at Kereithlana. Blue lady. What's your name? What parts are you from?
Hi, I'm Kereithlana, and I'm from Gestures Vaguely into the Sea.
There's no sea nearby. You're from the Wool, eh?
I'm from the what?
The Wool. You're hereabouts? I don't recognize you.
No, I don't often come up on the land.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're a sea elf. And he says something first to you. He says hello, greetings, very polite greeting to you. First in Elvish, and then in Aquan. Which do you prefer?
Either's good, whichever you're most comfortable with. Common if you'd prefer that.
Oh, it's all welcome. So are you from the sea village that floats to the east? Or are you from somewhere else in the ocean waters? I don't know why I became a little bit Irish, but okay, there you go.
It works though.
No, I visited there, but no, I'm from the
She's from the other sea village.
the other sea village. Yeah, it's a long way. You've probably never heard of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well I know that all sea elves aren't alike. Yeah, you're not all the same, sea elves don't know each other.
No, that's right.
And then he points at Kymir.
Kymir sort of like bows slightly, not like a proper bow, but just sort of like a bob of the head,
Oh,
and
you
says,
bloody creep.
"Shut up, I'm polite." And it says, "Sir, I am from the Endworld Mountain."
Oh, that's quite far away, sir.
Yes, I have travelled quite a way.
Not many people come out of the Endworld Mountains. Why they call it Endworld, I guess.
Yes, but my master felt that it would be good to come and help the people of Saltmarsh.
Oh, you want to come help the people of Saltmarsh?
Yes.
Are you here to fight the pirates, the smugglers, infamy?
Yes.
Good man. Well, you've delivered your message proper, so I will head to the docks, meet with Jozdess. He's the lizard folk fella, right?
He is.
That's the chap, yeah.
Oh yeah, that chap. Oh, all right. I'll head to the harbour, meet with him. Thank you much for reporting and fetching me. Keep out of trouble, you. And he points at Shaefira.
Yeah. Thank you for your time, sir. I'll see you in the tavern later. Maybe.
Alrighty. So you guys are done reporting that. Now, do you want to pause here and resume next week?
Yes.
Yes,
Alright.
if that's okay.
Yeah. I think so. I think it'll take a little bit too long for you guys to go to the bank and to have Jozdess talking to Eleander and figure out what the hell Steve's doing.
He's getting lit.
Easy, I'm just getting
He's
lit.
enjoying his pillow.
My
Yeah.
pillow
Very great coming
has a new pillowcase on it on my bed, and then I'm in the pub, and no one's giving me crap, and I'm getting lit. That's what's happening. And he's
Wow.
got 20 gold, so he's like feeling like a baller extreme.
That's a lot of claw wine for 20 gold.
Oh, he's not gonna spend all of it. No. But he's still gonna get lit.
Not today.
That's
Alrighty.
like 3 weeks. That's like 3 weeks worth of random jobs right there, man. We haven't even started on the trade bars.
Alright. So you guys are in Saltmarsh now. And next week,
Yay!
you will continue meeting with people, I guess. Going to the bank, talking with Eleander, drinking in pubs.
Excellent.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you,
was
Bonnie.
fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! Bye,
See you
Steve.
next week.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Steve.